Hello YouTube, welcome back. Today we're doing another Ranked to Mythic series with a domain control list. Not to be mistaken with the one we played a couple days ago, the more Bant centric. This one is more based on Atraxa colors, so green, blue, white, and black. We are playing cards like Herd Migration, Virtue of Persistence, Archangel of Wrath, and Atraxa Grand Unifier to help us win the game and go over the top of our opponents. If we get to 7 mana by turn 4, normally we just win the game upright. Playing a lot of powerful cards in the format, like Leyline Binding, Sunfall, as well as Virtue. All of these cards allow recursion and or faster ramp to our big spells like Atraxa. Hopefully we can out-farm our opponents here and outvalue them. I will jump right into the game, so I'll see you in the first one. Okay, getting right into the first hand here, we do not really have a keepable hand. Even though we could technically Mirrex for Herd Migration and get a mana, I would rather have a little more of a stable mana base. This is a lot better, but at the same time it's not great. I think we'll be putting back one of our invasions and keeping this. Hopefully the opponent isn't too aggro here. If they're a little bit too aggro, I don't think we'll be able to keep up. Blue-white's a good sign. Typically, it's either going to be soldiers or some sort of control list. And based on the lands they're playing, I'm assuming it's going to be a control list. Courier's Briefcase will speed up our clock a little bit. If opponent decides to tap out for like a wedding announcement next turn, we can go into invasion and spend this. I don't really want to spend my mana right away, but interesting. I have not seen someone play Monastery Mentor in a hot minute, but I still think we are going to invasion. It gives us our draw 3, but it ramps us into board wipe if we need it, and Monastery Mentor can scroll out of control a little bit too fast. We are going to no attacks here in case we need to leave up a blocker. Opponent has 4 mana available to them with their Monastery Mentor. We will take the block, preserve our life total. Opponent hasn't really done anything that's terrifying yet. We could Mirrex here, so we can double kick the invasion and get red mana. I don't mind that. Let's do that. See if we can, if a counter spell is coming out of our opponent. I guess I kind of played into a make disappear here. We'll hit the invasions so we can get a free attack for 4. And this gives us 2 very big blockers for our opponent's creatures, which I'm not sure if they can get around. Considering he's playing Monastery Mentor, I don't expect to see a Sunfall from the opponent, but you never know. Alright, we'll get in there. Memory Deluge from the opponent. This card is so good. When I first started playing, Monastery Mentor was kind of like one of the staple cards in the format, so seeing it reprinted made me so happy. I have not found a deck to play it in though. Let's see if opponent takes this block. Looks like they will. And we should be able to get ahead of on board with this Archangel of Wrath. Siege Shark could be a little intimidating. Drawing a little too many lands here. We'll get in there. See if our opponent wants to do any trading. We'll just pass the turn. Opponent already down to 13. We'll probably activate Mirrex end of turn and cycle this Raffine's Tower. We don't really need the Triumph. If anything, we're looking for red mana. and or a Atraxa to kind of refill our hand. Fading Hope from the opponent is a little obnoxious, but it does mean we get more lands out of our deck, which could be worse. We'll activate the Merrick's here and let this go through. Opponent attacking with the Chrome Sea Shark must feel pretty confident with us having an Archangel of Wrath here. So this looks like a attack into Sunfall. There's our Atraxa. I don't think opponent can also answer another Archangel of Wrath to kill these Mentors, but I think clearing up the board might be a little better. Do we play the Boseiju is the real question. I don't think so. We're gonna just Sunfall here. Yeah, an opponent can't really handle it. That's a good game. On to the next one. Oh yeah, we also did grind on our own to Diamond 3 now. This is the deck I played all the way up until then, so hopefully we can continue getting good games and keep getting up there to Mythic. Got a pretty good hand here. Tropiary Stompers. We can cycle for the second green mana here and get ahead by 3 and make a 2 mana Leyline Binding. I'm going to keep this hand. It should go fairly well. Hopefully. Everything could go horribly wrong once we see a... Oh, actually, see, Tauros makes this a little better too. Now we don't have to cycle our herd migration. NT. What's NT say? Whenever you attack, you may discard a card and put a counter on it. NT's going to be pretty good here. We'll have all 3 of our colors though, so we can deal with NT if we need to next turn, although I don't think we will. I think we can just, ignore. Maybe not. It's a very intimidating card when it's good. I might not be able to ignore this turn. 1 or more gnomes. Opponent is going to be cardless here in a moment. So this means we will likely Leyline Binding this turn and cycle for a white mana, so that way we can get the Archangel down if we need to the next turn. Before they go to combat, we'll get their Anim, which means we'll get it now because we do not want them to have that. This is going to hurt. Could really go for a Sunfall here. Opponent knows now we are empty-handed. We are getting hit for 8 here. I do not know if we can survive the next turn. We'll go down to 7, take 3, 4, 5, 6 if they don't have an answer for this. And we're in a rough spot. It's not impossible though. Opponent does not want to discard their last card, which leaves me a little bit worried that this is not going to do anything. Maybe playing the Stomper the turn that... Yeah, they get lost back the Anim here. I think they would have just straight up won if they would have got lost our Archangel. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. We can go to 10. We have to block the Inti, and Inti does not have first strike. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't we just block? this, take 4, 7, 8, 9, and go to 1. This will, yeah, right? Am I wrong? No, we go to 1. That's a good draw. That's a lot of life gain. I don't know if it's necessarily what we want here, but we will kick her for the red, I think. And would love to get rid of this anem, but I don't think we're going to be able to this turn. We can put up 6 points of life gain. We don't want this hopeful to get bigger, so we'll get rid of the hopeful for now. We'll stay back on defense. As long as the opponent does not draw anything too great, we should still be good here. Opponent cannot discard. We are taking 2, 4, 7 here. We can gain back 6. We'll block like this. Three. So we can get down one Topiary Stomper for another blocker. Oh, seeing the top card Leyline Binding's a little upsetting. We'll get down the... Do we need the Jet Mirrors? Yeah, we'll get down the Jet Mirrors. See if we can increase our life gain a little bit. Sunfall is a great card here. And if opponent can't deal with us, we should be able to take over this game. He's going to make 3 tokens this turn, so we'll get hit by 7. Opponent is all in on this. This is a 4/5. We'll block 4, 7. We're gaining 8. We're at 2. So we have to block like this. Right? This will give we'll take 7, gain 8, so we'll go net 1 health, and they lose their anem. Seems fine. Alright, now the question is, I think we are 100% sunfalling here. We'll get into the opponent here. This might not be the correct play, but we will do so. Opponent says good game. He's down to 1 card, so are we, but we have a 10/10. And we'll go into our Stomper. Can opponent do 11 points of damage to us? And I don't think he thinks he can, so he scoops it up. That's another good game in a row. Alright, I'll see you in the next. We are back. We are recording at almost 2 in the morning right now. I'm getting a little bit tired, but these games are going really, really well. If we have an aggro-based deck here, we should be able to curve out into Sunfall at least 1 turn early. Hopefully. Ooh, Merfolk's in Standard. I have yet to see this. Tidebinder pitched is an interesting pitch. You would think that they'd want this. Deeproot Pilgrimage may just be too fast for us. We'll see. It also could result in us getting an absolute ton of tokens. Courier's Briefcase is just the sneaky good card. Like, this 1/1 is actually very relevant. So, I think the goal here is to preserve the life total. But I don't know if this is the correct time to actually block. So we're gonna no block here. It's a good draw. If we can herd migration this turn for a gain 3, basically. Let our opponent pump more of the field. This turn we're going to block, preserve some life. Opponent does seem like they have some sort of reactionary spell. I know it's going to seem silly. We're just going to play the Archangel here with no kicker. We really want our opponent to spend all of their mana and or just feel safe. If he can put more to this board, because right now he's not representing lethal. We're just going to block the Sinnoh and we're going to block the Cancel. An opponent will be behind. If he doesn't put more to the board, Archangel of Wrath should be pretty good this turn. Which we'll do now. Spend our ability here. Get the Sinnoh Scout as well as the face. Because we can't kill the Nikanzel, there's really no reason in hitting it. There's the Tidebinder. So does Tidebinder mean we lose lifelink on all of our... No. Okay. So opponent did go bring out the Tidebinder. We see another Pilgrimage. Does opponent have anything else out of their side here? These Pilgrimages could just win them the game, but at the same time, they can't really swing. And we are getting closer and closer to this herd migration we just drew. We're going to say no attacks. Although, we're kind of... I don't want to waste this Sunfall. But I feel like we should have probably Sunfalled by now. I just think we can get them more. I'm being greedy. I think I'm being really greedy. Opponent still does not want to swing out. That is fine. We are missing our colors, but that is okay. We'll do our herd migration here. Get 3 3/3s. I feel a little more comfortable with swinging in with this now. Opponent really has to commit now to the board. Witness protection. We now have a legitimate business person, as if we do not have enough of those in the world already. I myself am probably one of them, but you know. Man, this card is so good. And then we have a Zephyr Singer. What does this card do? Whoa, everything gets flying and they are tapped. Okay. Let's see if our Sunfall resolves and they scoop. We now have an 18/18 on the ground incubator token. We'll see if opponent can deal with that. I don't believe they will be able to, but if they only put out 2 creatures here, which looks like they will, we should be able to double leyline binding them next turn. If he had Splunky on the field right now, this would be kind of sweet. Let's just activate this. And this should be GG. They are tapped out. We will leyline binding the opponent's to cancel. And opponent can't handle it. It's a good game 3. We are climbing these ranks of Diamond 3 so far. I will see you guys in the 4th game. Okay, we're on to game 4. Getting a good stretch in before we get going here. Sand is absolutely awesome. I think the only deck this hand will probably straight up lose to is mono red. So if we draw an untapped land in our first turn, this is even better. We'll keep it. Speaking of mono red, that is an untapped land though, so alright, I did call it. This is going to be a harder matchup. Off the Beanstalk should help. We can go next turn Murex into Stomper, which will get us a black source, but I don't know if it's going to be fast enough. I'm hoping our opponent goes wide instead of over the top, but that does not preach good things to me. Can make our... I think we're going to be Leyline Binding this turn, so we will be Jetmir's guarding and end turn. Hopefully get the Godric here. Get a buffed Godric. Ooh, Squee. Makes me wish I would have laid the Stomper. So it hits the most damage. It's sadly probably the worst thing to hit, but we will get the Godric because we don't want to take this 4 damage here. Drawing this other Leyline Binding is not bad. It would be a lot better if we had our black source, which we can get with the Stomper, I guess. There's our black source, and there's our Leyline Binding. But are we too slow? Opponent only needs 3 points of damage in a burn deck. If we could just turn this corner. If opponent for some reason doesn't have Lightning Strike. Chandra Just to Kill is not a Lightning Strike, but it does make enough mana to cast one. Can opponent deal 2 points of damage to us? That is a Lightning Strike. I think they have it here. The only thing that kind of can help us is... Yeah, no. They just need to forget to press the attack button. It's a good game from our opponent. I did call it. Mono Red beat us there. Good game, though. Alright, we are on to the 5th and final game here. The hand is a little awkward. Double Leyline Binding isn't bad, but no black for Go for the Throat. I think I'm going to mull this. We can get better hands. This doesn't really have a green, but Murex can play the green mana. We'll drop the Go for the Throat here because we don't want the double black, and the invasion can be casted off of the briefcase. As long as briefcase doesn't get countered next turn, we should be okay. Opponent seems to be on mono black. Drawing this Jetmir's makes me not want to use our briefcase, so we might just hold up the Virtue and play this. Opponent has the treasure map. Let's see, is there any reason why? No, I think holding up the Courier's briefcase to draw 3 at a later point is definitely the better play. Treasure map. Opponent seems to be playing a treasure themed deck and missing mana. We will get in there for 1, see if our opponent wants to do anything. He does not. Okay, we'll do an invasion. Don't think opponent will have too many great answers to this. Opponent did bottom, so they are continuing to have their land struggles. We have double white, but in case we draw angel, we might want another. I want double green in case if we draw another stomper, even though we have the forest. So maybe grabbing another white might have been better. Next turn we can draw 3 cards, or I guess we could just probably win the game here. Unless the opponent has another black source into the destroy all creatures for 3 mana, I think we should be okay. We can put opponent down to 1 next turn with our attack. Scratch that. Yeah, and opponent can't deal with it. He got a little mana screwed, so it was sad for him, but lucky for us, we are mostly through Diamond 3. Alright guys, we are back for the wrap up here. A couple things to note from in the games. I don't think we cast in Atraxa once. I feel like every time we've played Atraxa in these games, I have not gotten to actually use her. But we still won 4 of the 5 games we played, and most of it was simply on the back of Sunfall. This card is a little broken for standard. A lot of decks rely on the graveyard as well as recursion, and even those bigger decks, when they bring back the Idolies and flood the board, Sunfall just kind of handles everything. This card is absolutely crazy. On top of that, Herd Migration, it's a sleeper win con. I know it's been seen a lot of play in Domain, but it's been in Standard for a little while now, and didn't start seeing play until last set release. So this card's been good for a while. I'm just glad that people are playing this now because it's honestly really fun. Other big things that played a big part in our game here. The Courier's Briefcase is a secret good uncommon, and I think there's not much that I would replace in this list. Something I did consider running is One Mountain, because there's quite often that you're running on Domain and you just don't have it. I know the list probably should run maybe another Zeatoras or 2 instead of the Jetmirs. It might help the list, but having all the white from Jetmirs for Archangel is very, very useful. But that is the deck and the gameplays for the week. I mean, not the week, the day. If you guys enjoyed the content, please like, comment, subscribe, whatever you like, whatever you could do to help out the channel. It means a lot to me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this far. And if you did stay here, you're awesome. I appreciate it. Have a great one. Thanks.